Hey guys!
Hey!
What's
back.
going on? He's back!
I'm back. Thank
Alright.
you. Shout out to Alex for filling in for me while I was gone.
She did a really good job.
She did do really
Yes,
good.
she did.
Yeah.
Yes, she did.
I love Alex's commentary. And you guys are just, y'all's energy is really nice on the screen. So, but
Yeah,
thank you, Alex. But we're here. We're back. And I'm going to give JoJo a little bit of break. I'm going to kind of start things off a little bit. Today we're going to be talking about Blade Runner. Really, really popular film in the 80s. But also, too, we're going to be talking about the book, Do Androids Dream of Electric Sheep by Philip K. Dick. So we're just going to start it off with, hey, what did we think about it? Let's start with I actually want to start off with the book.
Let's start with the book?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm kind of curious what Art feels. How do you, how did the book
Do you recommend the book?
Do you
Yes.
recommend it? What were your thoughts?
Yes, I love the book. I recommend the book. It's, how can I say it? Well, when younger Art watched the movie, I loved it because I used to be Dragon Ball Z. Remember the droids on the Dragon Ball Z, the 16 and 17? They were droids. And then I never saw a movie where there's actual movies called droids and stuff like that. But they were called replicas, not droids, right?
Replicants.
Replicants.
Yeah, that's what they're called.
I read the book. The book is way better than the movie. I like how detailed it goes, how practically saying that as humans we're kind of like robots. Like, because we wake up, go to work, take care of our kids, do groceries, go out to eat.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we currently like programmed like robots, constantly doing the same.
That's an interesting take. I was not expecting
I
was not expecting you to go that
same,
route.
you know what I mean? Like,
I didn't get that, but I could totally see where you're coming from.
because what was that thing they turn in when they do their feelings, so someone else can feel how you feel. If you're happy, they'll feel that the happiness you have.
Yeah, not the mood organ, the other thing.
Yes,
The empathy box.
the empathy box. Yes.
Yeah.
Well, so there's different things?
Yeah.
So
Well,
that-
they only talk about the mood organ in the beginning.
In the
But
beginning.
let's finish up. If you think people should read it,
Yes.
watch the movie.
Okay, people should read it.
And
Watch
we'll
the
start
movie.
talking.
Yeah, watch the movie. The movie's pretty good too. It's not that bad, but like, the book is way better. I love the book. I recommend people to like read it. It's very interesting, especially how like animals are extinct and they.
We'll do the discussion after.
Okay.
More so, just telling them they should watch it.
Yes, they should
And
watch
then
it.
we'll start discussing the
Yes,
fun stuff.
I'm ready to jump
I
in.
know.
I got a lot of
I know. Hey,
questions.
Art's excited. That's good.
I really love the book. I mean, honestly,
Yeah.
I read it. I listened to it twice.
Yeah.
Like the first time I missed a little bit things. The second time I kind of caught on and stuff like
Second rereads are really valuable.
So do you think that that's kind of difficult? Like, do you think it was a difficult read?
that. Not a difficult read. It's more like since I watched the movie, I was trying to compare both of them. There's nothing to compare. And
It's so different. Yeah.
yeah, and I had to listen to it again because I was picturing what I saw in the movie.
So you're expecting the book to be in line with the movie?
Yes, because most of the books that we have done, they're sort of similar. Like I have little thing. This one there's nothing.
This is the one that's the most different
Yes.
book to movie.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah,
so.
like-
I would completely
But
agree
yes,
with
I
that.
recommend people to read it. I loved it. I loved
Read it and watch it.
Yes, I love the fact of the drones and stuff like that. And there's Rick Decker who's trying to, buy a sheep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's interesting.
So-
So what do you think? What are your thoughts on it?
I have something controversial. You guys are gonna be mad again.
That's okay.
Okay.
That's what we love.
So, this is gonna sound crazy because I actually don't like the movie. This is not one of those movies that I'm really in love with. I do think it has a place in film history, and I think I'm gonna, when I start kind of talking about all that stuff, I think people should watch it, even though I didn't care for it.
Yes.
So that sounds weird, but the book, I love the book. I think the book is so weird. It's so sci-fi. It came out in 1968, I think, and some of the stuff that it's talking about is so relevant to right now. We'll get into that, but I'm gonna definitely give it a thumbs up for the book. I think you should watch the movie also, but I have my reasons for not really caring for it. So go ahead and give us your take, Jeremy.
So my take is pretty close, or maybe more aligned with Art. The book is fantastic. It was really hard for me to not just kind of burn through it. I really enjoyed it that much.
Mm.
However, there were some things that I'll get into a little bit later that I didn't really care for about the book that I think I like better in the film just because I think it's a lot. In the book, it's a little, like you're saying, it's kind of weird, it's kind of out there, very sci-fi. And I feel like the movie does a really good job of kind of filtering out, taking out what is a little bit too far out there to kind of be a little bit more easier to watch.
I
a little
definitely
bit
agree with
easier
that.
to understand.
I definitely agree with that.
Yeah, so to me, I really appreciate it. Even though I thought the book was fantastic, there were some things during the book that I just got annoyed with a little bit, and I'll touch on that. But
I kind of want you to start with that because I'm fascinated by the fact because he mentioned earlier we were talking before we started filming that there was stuff about the book that annoyed him, and this will be the first time I'm hearing it. I actually am excited to hear what was annoying you about the book.
So the main thing that annoyed me about the book, which they completely eliminate in the movie, is the whole animal aspect and keeping like this social hierarchy of like the whole animals. That to me got really old really quickly. So because me personally, I don't like to have a lot of material things, and I almost have a really negative aspect toward people who feel that they need to have something because of a societal aspect. So when I'm reading it, like I get it. I'm like, okay, cool. That's a cool dynamic. That's a cool thing to like mention and kind of the struggles that society has. But after a while, it was just like continuously like, oh, like he has this interaction with this guy on the top of his apartment, and he's, you know, feeling like almost embarrassed because he has an electric sheep and he doesn't have a real sheep, and then later on
I think
there's
it's realistic though to the human experience is that we do, whether it's our job, it might not necessarily be stuff. I think you don't like stuff.
Yeah.
no.
But people do it with their jobs, with their knowledge. We kind of always are. There is always a social thing.
And come on, also animals are extinct.
Yeah, that's the big thing too. I think that's why that's important.
Yeah, that's why it's important, and it's something that I mean, us humans relate a little bit more with dogs and cats and animals. You know what I mean? Like they're living things too, and that's why like it matters to them to have a sheep or have an animal type because it doesn't exist no more. Like it's a rare commodity to have at that time where everything's polluted now. There's no green.
Right.
There's no green whatsoever now. Like having an animal, it's a rare commodity to have, and that sort of kind of makes you a little bit more human to be attached to the animals. You know what I'm talking about? Like that's what I loved about the fact that he was so intrigued with animals and stuff like that.
Yeah, I thought the animals was like one of the most important parts of the book.
Yes.
I mean, it was. For me, after a while, I was just like, okay.
Well, because the title of the book is a question. Do androids dream of electric sheep?
Yeah.
It's like saying or saying a few things. It's like, am I like an android? Where is the line?
I never saw it. Yeah.
Are they like us? Do they think like that? Do they need a comforting thing to put themselves to sleep? Do they dream about it? Because counting sheep is like what you do to go to sleep.
That's how I feel. I felt like I thought it was like, do androids dream?
What do they? That's part of it, but also it's like, you know, the things that we care, or I'm saying humanity in the book, that they care about, not just status, but like taking care of a pet.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do androids have that? And they kind of don't.
They don't. They're very reckless.
Let's get into it because I've got some fucking shit to say about this book that I'm excited to talk about because I want to get you guys' feel on it. I don't know if y'all want to say anything else before I start because I'm just gonna ask you guys some questions.
Go ahead. Ask questions.
Okay. So let's see. The Voight-Kampff test. The test that they do to the androids to see if they're people or not.
Uh-huh.
There is a very rudimentary version of that existing currently, and we probably have all done something about this recently, where you're in a new website or you're trying to log into something and it asks you to look at the picture and like find the motorcycles in the picture.
Shoot, okay,
Recapped is what it's called.
Recapped. That's a Voight-Kampff test. It's testing to see if you're a robot or a human.
You're a robot.
No, it is. I mean, it's not testing your empathy.
No, I know, but
it's trying to differentiate between whether or not you're a machine or not. Yeah, that's kind of cool. It's a weird. It's not an exact parallel, but it's kind of cool that there's something like that out there, and it's something we deal with today.
And now we've got AI coming out and stuff, and
yeah, that's the other thing.
And I feel like that's gonna be
that's kind of why this is really relevant. Is you know,
I thought this book was written in the 90s. I didn't think
that was written in 1968.
Wow.
I'm pretty sure. I'll put a note here on the screen if I got it wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's like 1968 it was published. So as far as if androids care about animals, there's a scene in there that was kind of disturbing, and maybe it was just like the mood I was in when I was reading it. When Pris mutilates the spider.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So you're supposed to think that we're supposed to care about animals. It's a big deal. That's why they bring it up over and over.
Yeah.
To show you the dichotomy between the two thinking things. That there's a reason they're expiring these androids, these replicants, because
there's no empathy towards
there's
it.
no empathy.
There's not at all. I noticed that when
she cuts the legs off. I want to see if it and Isidore is confused by it.
Yeah.
Is it Isidore?
I don't know.
Isidore.
Well, I guess you heard the narrator say it.
Yeah.
He says Isidore.
If I say Isidore, sorry. JR. Well, and then in the movie it's JF Sebastian. They use that.
Sebastian.
So I thought that was really interesting that you got to see that scene, and it's actually if you re-listen to it, it's really, I don't know, it really got under my skin for some reason.
Yeah, and also like you could tell Sebastian. He's like, wow, what are you doing? Like, why are you doing that? Like, stop! Like, and she's like, oh, she doesn't need 8 legs.
It means nothing to her.
Yeah, it doesn't, and that's
so
right away. So it's not human.
While that scene's happening, the Mercerism, the religion, on the radio or on the TV or something, it comes out that religion is a sham.
Right.
It comes out that it's fake. So the religion about empathy is being exposed at the same time she's mutilating an animal. So it's kind of saying like, empathy's fake.
Yeah.
While this android is exhibiting that behavior. So I thought that was it's very subtle. You wouldn't even think of it.
Yeah, I wouldn't even think.
But I was like that he wrote that in there on purpose to have them kind of happen at the same time.
That is true.
It happens at the exact same time.
Yeah, it does. Because
So
they're watching
the
TV.
contest doesn't really matter then.
Well, it does because it proves that the androids are don't have empathy.
Yeah, they're not. Yeah.
So I was reading it. I was listening to it on the way here, and I was rereading the part where Rachel is taking the Voight contest, and I was trying to compare between the movie and where Leon is taking the Voight contest, because I don't remember in the book any other time the Voight contest is being administered
when he gets busted, and he takes the test himself. Right,
but an android specifically.
Oh.
I don't think so.
What's his name? I forgot his name. The android that was a cop playing as a cop.
Oh, you're right.
Remember and they shoot me if I am an android.
Right.
Yeah, the fact that they did a reversal. Yeah, that's so interesting. Yeah, the book is so much weirder.
I love that.
I thought it was interesting because Rachel was taking it, and they made it sound like in the book that there's this kind of battle between is she human or is she not. And in the movie, I think there was a clear distinction that Leon, when he's taking the Voight contest, he's really kind of being upset about it. You could tell that there's a reaction. But
what I think is happening in the movie there is because he knows that he's caught.
Yes.
Rachel is owned by the building she's in. It's like she
knows
lives there. She
has no.
They're not going to destroy her if she fails the test.
Yeah.
They're not going to kill her.
Yeah.
They're not going to retire her if she fails the test. It doesn't matter if she fails the test.
True.
That's why she wasn't. At least in my opinion, that's why she's not scared if it's found out or not.
In the movie, it takes some more questions to figure out that she was.
There's more time and more questions. So the mood organ, and this only happens. Philip K. Dick does this. A lot of his books, they'll just kind of mention, because I think he just has weird ideas that he'll put in, and then it's just never talked about again. Like the mood organ. The mood organ I found really fascinating. I really wanted to see more of that, because the mood organ, I don't even know what it is. I can't tell if it's a pill. I can't tell if it's like a radio, like if it's a frequency, if
I thought the mood organ was the same thing as the empathy box.
No, they're two different things.
Two different things.
Because it starts off with him waking up, and his wife is like, she's like, I want to fight, or I want to be pissed, or I want to be, want to be depressed. She's like, don't touch my dial, don't change my mood, I want to be here. And he's like, and there's that whole conversation about, you know,
She wants to be depressed.
Yeah, and then he's like, well, I just want to feel like I won the argument, and he like dials
Yeah.
whatever. And I thought that idea could be a whole book. They could do a short book on just that idea of being able to change your mood at any time. Like, where is this thing? Is it in his house? Is it specifically next to the bed so he can wake up with the mood?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Are these things at like your office? Like, he doesn't really expand on that, and that was kind of frustrating for me because I was like, that was really interesting. I would love to see a story where I can just do that. I can be like,
that'd be cool.
you know, and then there's a character like his wife that goes, I kind of want to feel like shit. We do that right now. We watch sad movies because we want to feel something.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like probably an organ. Like it's probably like an actual organ.
Bro, go on. What do you mean? Like,
because the way it's kind of written, it doesn't really talk about like. I envision it being like a
lung, like a lung on the fucking nightstand.
You know those like self-playing pianos, where you like.
Oh, like
it's
an
got,
organ.
So
Okay.
I was thinking it was like.
An organ, like an instrument.
An instrument.
Okay, I'm thinking organ,
Yeah, me too.
like the pineal gland or something,
No,
something
no,
to like
no.
make you feel like.
No. I'm talking about an actual like
I see what
musical
you mean.
instrument organ that's like automatic, and there's a setting on there, and.
See, that's not what was in my head at all.
Well, you guys were talking about. I was thinking. I was like, I bet you that's what it is.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
And it's maybe like a high pitched frequency.
I'm like-
because she has
dude,
don't you
I
know
am
channel, the frequency.
so-
You're right.
Yeah.
You blew my mind right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Maybe
right.
I didn't catch that or like whatever, but the fact, I didn't think instrument.
To your
No,
point,
that's
Philip K. Dick
fantastic.
He doesn't really like.
Yeah,
describe
he
it
didn't
at
really
all.
describe it.
They
Yeah.
doesn't. Nah,
Well, because I was thinking organ like a organ.
Yeah, like a body
something
part,
inside you.
yeah, something
I thought it was like maybe something to like stimulate a part of your brain, like,
No, but-
and that's why it's called a mood
instruments will
organ.
do that too. You know what I mean? Change the mood of your.
Very true.
So-
yeah.
I'm like
That's pretty
blown
good, bro.
away that you
That's
said
pretty
that right
good.
now. I'm like almost awestruck. That's so. I wish I had thought of that.
I mean, you guys
That's
kind of brought it out
terrific.
of me. Yeah.
That's terrific.
Yeah, it is. It is.
I love that. That
That's
was really
probably
cool.
what it is. Because
That was really cool. What did you guys think about the fact that Rachel and Pris are the same model?
Yeah, and it took him.
it was confusing.
It was hard for him to kill her too.
There's another thing I want to bring up after that.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, no, I want to see how you guys felt about that. I felt like that was really smart because when you manufacture something, you're gonna have a model kind of be the same.
Same. Yeah.
I
So
kinda
you
was
maybe
like-
get their skin tone different or their hairstyle different, but like it's the same.
Yeah.
I love.
I think that. I think I remember feeling like, why was it so hard? Because I think he kind of hesitated or he didn't act very quick when he saw Pris.
Well,
he had like a.
Rachel.
There it is.
Yeah, he did. But I feel like even if you did have a relationship with the real Rachel, and then you see Pris, who's the same, that looks exactly the same, but I think he knew. Didn't he know that was an android? And he could have just easily retired it right then and there.
Yeah, but
like,
I think it's the feelings of him that.
The point is that he had empathy.
Yes, like
And that's why it was
cared,
hard.
Like,
I just find that a little.
I think that Rachel exploited that feeling in him.
Oh yeah, she
Did. Yeah, she says it right. She
yeah,
goes.
she loves him, yeah.
She thinks like if we do this, he's gonna
Have
less
a hard
likely
time.
killing me.
Yeah. You're gonna have a hard time killing.
But also too, she even tells him like, because I think he invites her over, and she's a little hesitant.
Yeah.
And then he asks her like, well, if you come over, I won't go and retire these other Andes.
Right.
And then she's like, okay. She immediately like, yeah, I'm gonna come.
Right.
And so she definitely uses that exploitation, but
She exploits his feelings.
What do you think about the movie?
And you go because
Rapey.
she didn't care what you
it
said.
was, dude. She said that the movie was kind of rapey.
Oh, super rapey. That is one of the
Yeah.
things about this movie that
I did not like that.
hated it.
Dude, that was.
I hated
really-
that. I was like, dude, they're supposed to have chemistry and there's none. Anyway, we'll get to the movie in a
Okay,
second.
sorry,
I want to
sorry.
more talk about this. I'm so glad you said that because that's exactly. I was incredibly uncomfortable.
You know what's funny? When I was younger, I didn't even pay attention to that.
He like tells her, "Say you want it." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah,
bro, what
I
the
know.
fuck are
Yeah,
you
dude.
doing?"
Kiss me.
Yeah.
Well, she's not human.
Oh, dude. Oh, man. Or is she?
Well, is he?
No.
No, we're not gonna go there. Okay, the ending in the book where Deckard's wife finds the frog. or he finds the frog in the
Yes.
desert, and then she discovers that it's a fake frog, and she doesn't want to tell him.
Yeah.
What did you guys think about that? Was it just a detail, or did you think there's something about her?
I didn't think anything too deeply about it. I just was like, okay, she's just trying to spare his feelings.
Because she has empathy. They do this over and over. They make, even though the decisions might not make sense to us as like logical, because we're logical readers,
Yeah.
that every example is that we do something that's from a feeling.
From a
Yeah.
feeling perspective. And that's what makes us human.
And that's what makes us human. So
And-
his
and-
wife
and-
was very, very human. She wanted to feel depressed. She was like, I need to experience that.
Yeah.
You gotta think, they live in a place where it's, the world's fucked.
Yeah.
And they don't he doesn't really like describe it more than once. It's just like, everyone lives on Mars because this place sucks dick.
Yeah. The people are calling.
And so if you're there and you just, man, imagine if I had a mood organ, I would fuck with it. I would try to feel different stuff all the time. You think, oh, I would just put it on happy all the time. That would get boring really quick.
Yeah, exactly. Because you gotta feel sad, mad, angry, fed up, tired.
You know,
that's being a human.
And that kind of goes back to what you're saying about, in the very beginning, you were talking about how we as humans are almost being robotic. Because in the book, it's almost a robotic thing. The first thing he does is wakes up and he puts a mood organ on. It's like as if he's not wanting to be himself. He's robotically being drawn a certain way.
Yeah, that's how I took it as too. Because like, if you think about it, his mission is to get a real sheep. Like
The point is to get a real
You know what I
animal.
mean? Like it's his main goal, and I gotta retire these people, these droids, so I can get a sheep. And like practically you're becoming a robot. Even our daily lives, like you know what I mean? You wake up, you go to work, you take care of your kids, you go to drop them off at school, or you make dinner, and you redo that shit every day of your entire life. It's like practically we're being programmed to do that.
Yeah.
Those droids are programmed to do whatever they're programmed to do.
Right.
Like be slaves, sex slaves, or whatever they were. And but that's what I feel like the whole point of the book is like we're ourselves kind of like robots.
Wow.
Yeah, I can
You
see
guys
that.
are really, you guys fucking hit on some stuff. I didn't think, because I just thought we were gonna kind of concentrate on how like weird everything is.
Yeah.
I feel like you guys really thought about this stuff,
I
and
know.
I'm not trying to sound like surprised. I'm like so happy. Like that's I would have never thought of that. I would have never gone the other way and gone, maybe we're like robots. That is kind of more of a theme in the movie where it's
Yeah.
Deckard kind of acts like a cold whatever.
Yeah.
In the book, he's very much not like that.
No, he's
But,
not. No, he's not. And he also takes the test too.
Yeah.
The test, and he, he's like,
Right.
yeah, I've done it so many times, and you know what? Also, what I noticed is in the book they don't even use Blade Runner.
Yeah, that was because Blade Runner sounded cool.
Yeah, and then also like what was the other thing like?
There's a lot of differences, like
Of course, the droid.
Blade Runner, yeah, replicant, android.
Yeah,
The names J.F. Sebastian, J.R. Isidore.
they changed a lot.
So
They didn't even talk about like the whole specials, like the chicken head.
Oh yeah, the people.
I think they may have mentioned it a little bit, but they didn't specifically call it chicken head. I don't think.
Yeah.
no, I think the boss in the movie treats Sebastian like he's struggling.
But in,
like,
yeah, but in the
mentally.
movie, Sebastian's a little bit more smarter than.
He's a lot smarter.
Because he also built robots and stuff.
Yeah.
There's another thing I want to mention before we go to. I mean,
Go
I think
ahead.
actually what we should do is talk a little bit more about the book. Go for a break and then come back. When we come back, we'll just do movie.
Okay.
Yeah.
If you guys are cool with that.
That's fine.
So the scene, I'm surprised we haven't brought this up yet. The scene where Isidore, or what did you call it? What did you say? How does he say it in the whatever?
Isidore.
Yeah,
Isidore. So when Isidore doesn't realize that he's trying to fix a real cat. Do you remember this?
Oh yeah.
Where he's like, oh, I'm looking for, wow, this is a really good model. I can't tell the difference, and like he doesn't
Yeah.
realize as he's like cutting a cat open.
That this is.
It's a real cat.
Yeah, and then his boss gets mad at him, right?
Yeah, his boss like, what the?
What are you doing? Yeah. And they call them chicken heads because the radiation fucked their heads up.
Yeah, well, you got to think that everybody that's left on Earth is kind of fucked.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then they have cod pieces. They have like iron or lead cod pieces so that you can have children still, because it'll fuck up. You'll have fucked up kids.
Yeah, fucked up kid. You know when we first were talking about this, when I didn't get I thought Isidore was like kind of like the one in the movie. He was smart. I didn't get the chicken head part, and I'm like chicken head. They're talking about chickens, you know, because they're talking about animals,
Mhm.
but they were talking about sort of human people who have big heads.
Well, you thought it was like an actual chicken head?
Yeah.
That's fucking funny.
So that really
I take back everything I said earlier.
That went over my head like bad.
You're imagining people walking around with like chicken head? That's fucking funny, dude.
So then I read it again. When I listened to it,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, it's like
They're it's like a term.
A term,
to make
yeah,
fun
there
of
you go,
People,
like-
yeah, they're.
not calling them dumb, but
Yeah. Like when you call somebody a mouth breather. Like,
Okay, yeah.
And it's like a derogatory.
And I was
way
like,
to make
chicken
fun of
heads.
somebody.
And people walking around with chicken heads. That's why my head
That's
was
funny. Well, in a book like Philip K. Dick's, anything is possible.
Honestly, yeah.
So you could
that's what I
have
was
written
like,
it.
well,
It's not that
it's
not
the
that
world.
crazy to think that
Radiation's out there.
I would have loved to have seen him. I don't know. Again, the movie, whatever. I don't even care about it that much. But the book was just everything was like taking these turns, and you just kind of don't expect it. My favorite stories are the ones that go weird places, and everything here you're just going, what?
So like,
Isidore kills a cat on accident. That's really interesting because something like that would happen
Yeah.
in a place with fake animals that almost look real.
Yeah, exactly.
And someone that can't keep up and doesn't really understand it. PI working on a cat, I guess. I gotta bring up Lonesome Dove.
What do you think that Rachel went back and killed the sheep for him?
Thank you. That was gonna be my next question.
Ah,
That she felt jealous,
that's what I was thinking.
or was that exhibiting a?
Like because I think she was like, well, I felt like I got used by him, so now I'm gonna take something that he loves the most, and all he talked about was that sheep,
Yeah.
and then she went to go fucking.
Yeah,
kill
they
my-
see her. They see her on a monitor. Oh, was it? It was a goat. It was a different. Yeah, but
I mean,
a real
real
animal. Whatever. Yeah.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
okay, so
I actually found that to be really interesting that she did that. They
Yeah.
find out that she went and did that.
Like I was
But-
like, why did she do that? I thought they were cool, but then I was like, she probably felt like she was used by him.
So what was, because I'm really bad about like just kind of remembering everything. So toward the end with Rachel and Rick, I forget if he didn't kill her, right?
No,
No,
she stays
the
alive.
ending is them seeing her on the monitor throwing the goat off the roof.
Yeah.
But what happened right before, what was the interaction between Rachel and Rick?
She
before
doesn't,
that?
if I'm not mistaken, she like goes to help kill Blatty and Priss. If I'm not mistaken, she like helps him find them.
And then she tells her to leave to
Yeah.
Seattle.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then he's gonna go chase
Blatty.
but yeah.
Am I remembering that wrong?
No, you're right. That's how it
I
happened.
don't know why I thought that Rachel the whole time in the book was actually still part of the group and was not an ally to Rick. Why do I remember the fact that Rachel was actually in on it from the beginning?
Like she
Well,
was,
Well, I
Did
think
I listen
she.
to that
I
wrong?
think. Well, no, I think she flip flops about it because she's unsure about Deckard. I think. I think your feeling on not really being sure about her is like spot on. I think that she kind of is figuring out how she feels about him. I
Okay.
think she only sleeps with him because it gives her an advantage. She doesn't care about him. There's definitely a coldness, a separation, I think, between them two.
Mhm.
Like in the movie, they don't really do that. They make it
They
seem
don't.
like they're falling in love.
yeah,
Rapey.
yeah.
But but in the book, you very much get the feeling that she doesn't trust him yet.
Yeah.
Doesn't fully ever trust him.
Right.
And what's funny is actually in my notes here, whenever you brought up the kills the androids to buy a real animal, I wrote the real reason Dickhead kills androids. I called him Dickhead in my notes. I was looking at it now. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I wrote that. It's funny.
What's the vision that people get, like sort of he's God,
Mercer.
Oh, yeah, what was all that about?
So,
I
like,
was like,
isn't he sort of supposedly be God in the book?
He is.
I guess, but describe it from the beginning. So that's the empathy box. They hold these little.
The empathy
prongs.
box is the thing that
Like the whole world holds onto it at the same
Yeah,
time.
when you-
I think you can just decide when to do it.
And supposedly you can feel someone else's feelings.
Well, it's Mercer's.
Oh,
You feel his
fe-
you grab
feel-
it to feel what he's going through.
Okay, and everybody joins in to feel what this.
They all are trying to, and he would feel the shock on his head or whatever if someone threw a rock at Mercer.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way I think a lot of people are confused by how it is because it's again Dick just takes an idea and just kind of runs with it.
Yeah.
And we got to talk about Philip K. Dick.
But Mercer does save his life, right? 'Cause he tells him to duck, or he'll turn around and then he kills.
Yeah, it's confusing. I'm actually kind of unsure about how it
Yeah.
works. Also, I think what it is, it's like if we put on the Oculus
Yeah.
or the Facebook, what is the thing called?
And I
The
think
Meta Quest
Yeah,
or
the
whatever,
Meta,
the visor. Have you done it before?
No, I have not done it yet.
It's incredible. There's nothing like it. And I'm not trying to like sell their product or whatever. Sarah brought it over for Christmas one time,
Yeah.
and you can see the whole room. So I could see like my aunt sitting on the couch over there. You can still
Are-
see
are-
everything
are
in
you
the
talking
background.
about the Apple one?
I don't know what brand it is,
I think
but
it's
it's
the
the
Apple.
VR thing.
Yeah.
So my idea of what the empathy box is it's something like that, where you put the thing in, and it's almost like going to church. You're putting it on to like have a religious experience. You're putting it on to have a
I
spiritual,
can see it.
to
Okay.
feel something. So these guys, everyone's screwed up. The world sucks. Mercerism is like, not Christianity, but the idea behind it. The whole point of the spirituality of this is that you never forget that you're supposed to feel another person. Yeah, you're supposed to understand how they feel.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of their, like with Christianity, it's like forgiveness is a big deal. Putting God first is like a big deal. In Mercerism, it's don't forget that you're supposed to feel for your fellow man.
Yeah.
So it means figuratively, spiritually, and physically. So when you put it on and he feels, if they feel like a rock getting thrown at him, don't forget other people feel the pain you're putting out to them. So that's kind of like what I got from it, that it's like a VR set that they put on.
Yeah.
And that's kind of why he was able to talk to him, and they go,
sense.
yeah, this guy's full of shit. I'm like, of course he is. There's a TV show they watch, and they're on 24 hours.
Yeah, he's the only one on the TV. Yeah.
That's AI.
Yeah.
And wasn't that one like he was an android, wasn't he? The main
Mercer?
No. The one that TV show that's on 24 hours.
Yeah, he's either an android. I'm saying AI, but yeah, I think it is. It's because you get the idea that they don't take breaks. And
Yeah, and he was like the only one left. Supposedly he was the one during the war happened. He was the last broadcaster there was, and he's been broadcasting.
Because it's not real.
Yeah, exactly like you said. It's an AI machine. Like it's
Again, 1968, dude. This guy was figuring shit out.
That is crazy. How old the book was like that.
Yeah,
and how detailed it was too. Like sort of like we are right now.
Yeah.
FaceTime.
I mean, it's all like kind of conceptual stuff, but can be interpreted to what we're going through now.
Like we're gonna get to a point. And this is scary. Like when you watch something on the news and you can't be sure if it's
Real or not.
like, is it the president or is it
Yeah, exactly.
the AI? Is the president hidden in a bunker somewhere and like the message we're receiving isn't real?
And we're gonna need
And you're not gonna know. That could be within our lifetime, because there's already videos that are like that where they show you how far this technology is.
No, I know.
And you got to think like DARPA, they have technology that's 25 years ahead of what we know about. So their AI shit, their fake people on the news, they can probably do it way better than any computers can figure out right now.
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a defense technology group. It's like they make the shit. They make the best shit for military reasons and whatever, DARPA. So whatever they're working on, it's way ahead of anything we could possibly know. So the best shit we can imagine, it's 20 years ahead of that. That's true. That's not, you can't even argue that. No one can argue that. They're of course not going to tell us about it.
Yeah.
That's not to be
Because,
conspiracy theory.
Think about
So
it.
Philip K. Dick was a part of that group.
There's some weird shit. No, guys, there's some weird shit going on with Philip K. Dick. Let's take a break here. We'll kind of talk about.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys know about Philip K. Dick's life.
I didn't know.
I know nothing.
I don't know if I should show you guys like information on it, or if I should
Yeah,
show
us and then we'll come back.
And then we'll come back.
Yeah.
It's weird, guys. We're gonna take a quick break here, and then like I'm getting goosebumps because it's really strange.
Oh God. I want to know.
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cool. All right, before you start, we're gonna take a break.
Damn it.
All right, guys.
See you in a few.
Hey guys, we're back.
Hey.
What's up?
A little break we took there. We're gonna kind of hit the ground running with talking a little bit about Philip K. Dick's life. I told them a little bit about it while we were on the break. Some interesting stuff. How did you feel about finding that out? Did you think it was really shocking or strange?
I mean, I don't think it's too shocking, just because I feel like the artistic mind is very vulnerable. You have to get yourself into a very vulnerable position in order to like understand these stories. So I would like you to share what you
Absolutely.
kind of
Yeah,
Yeah,
so there's a few things that were going on with Philip K. Dick throughout his lifetime. And there's the kind of the most noteworthy one, like the one that everybody, if you know anything about Philip K. Dick, if you got into his writing and stuff, the big thing they say about his life was he got some kind of prophecy, I don't know what you call it.
vision.
Vision. He had like
Dream.
he had like a spiritual experience where he's hanging out on the couch one day, and he had several of these visions and things, but the most noteworthy one is right after their son was born, he got this vision, and the voice in his head said to take his son to the hospital and that they would find something, and if they didn't find it, that his son would die. And it's been corroborated with the wife that it actually happened. They took the son to the hospital, and sure enough, there was something wrong that he could have died from, and they were able to make it not happen. So heal the kid, make sure he was okay. And so there's like a lot to be said about how much of it was an actual vision, maybe. I don't know that it was. That's kind of kooky out there for me. It's hard for me to grasp stuff like that, but
I've heard of people have visions of stuff and then they go act on it and they're like, oh shit.
But there were several things like this. He would write a book, and he'd have like a specific scene happen, and then he would witness that scene happen in real life. It would be obviously not sci-fi. It would be realistic. It would be like there's one in Flow My Tears, the policeman said, where he visits some guy that asks for gas, and like some weird stuff happens, and that he wrote that scene happens in the book, and then he later sees it happen in real life, where some guy asks for money for gas. Like things like that would continuously happen. A lot of this is like his claims. How can you prove that it happened?
Yeah.
So there's definitely some kind of blurry stuff there. And then he would continuously have this, what he believed to be a spirit, take over his body, and he would forget who he was. He would forget how to drive, because the spirit that he believed would take over him was the spirit of a Christian that was hiding during the Roman Empire, like when Christians were subjugated.
Yeah.
That he was like that spirit would inhabit him, and then they would trade places.
That is scary.
He was a strange guy. So a lot of that can be attributed to he was clearly mentally ill, in my opinion. That he probably had undiagnosed schizophrenia, believing he was hearing these voices and like these things would happen, and then you read the writing and it's like the kind of disjointed, cool ideas, but not really fleshed out totally. It was more so him just being like, "That's fucking cool. I'm gonna write about that. That's fucking cool. I'm gonna write about that." I get the feeling that he was kind of struggling with this for a long time.
Also, like his man, he probably has a big imagination too. At that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, clearly.
To write stuff like this back in '68, you said?
Yeah, this came out in '68.
That's. Who would think of that? You know what I mean? Like, oh yeah, with my drones, and then talk about an empty box, and then like animals are a big thing. The world's gone. So you know what I mean? I don't think there was a lot of pollution. Was there a lot of pollution in the '68s?
No, but we've known about pollution since the Industrial Revolution, so it's not a new idea. We just care about it way more now than they did. I mean, we grew up hearing about it constantly. As kids. Yeah. We grew up recycle, reuse, that type of shit was in our. They didn't really have that, and when he was a child, that was not a thing.
It's just like how detailed he was into about this.
Well, all his books are really interesting too.
Are they all sci-fi?
Not sci-fi per se, but they're all sci-fi-ish ideas. And what I mean by that is like there's one that's an alternate history, where it's called The Man in the High Castle. I think they made a show about it. I haven't seen it.
I heard of that.
But I've seen that they made a show about it, and what it is it's a reimagining of if World War II, the Allies lost. So America, it's like takes place in America, and like the East Coast is run by Germany, and the West Coast is run by Japan.
Oh man.
So he would
in the movie, it's like that.
Well, Japan in the 80s was really a tech was a big deal for when the movie comes out.
Is that where that's Las Vegas?
That's why it looks like that. But there's we'll do that because I'm gonna go like all his books are really strange like that. Like Flow My Tears, I just started that one and I haven't gotten quite through it yet. but it's like a guy that's on TV, and he has like his wife, and then he has his mistress who he kind of treats like shit, and she's like, if you don't come now, you know, this is gonna go bad for you, whatever. He goes sees his mistress is pissed off at him, and then he gets there and she throws like an animal, like a weird alien thing on him, and then he passes out, wakes up, he's got all his like money and stuff in his pockets, everything is like normal, but no one in the world knows who he is.
What the?
So these ideas are really strange.
Jeez.
Isn't that weird?
Do you think they come from a place of like experience,
Yes.
like of what he's going
Absolutely, I think so. I think that empathy is one of those things too. You know, one of the things. We'll start talking about the movie now, but like, whenever she's like, "Have you ever killed a person by accident?" I get the feeling that could easily happen because there's something called autism, where you don't really understand how people feel. You don't get social cues.
Right.
I can see a person failing the void comp test.
And then they just kill him.
And killing him. So they would never do, in reality, they would never do this test.
Right.
Because people are just neurodivergent. There's people that are like, that don't really understand. They have to they have to figure out how to live in a world where everyone's like that and you're not.
Well, they call it out in the book, like, I think they make the argument like, well, what if we went to a mental institution and did the void comp test and they fail it, you know, and I think Bryant was like, no, we wouldn't retire somebody. I don't remember exactly what he said, but so yeah.
But it would be tough to do because they say everything's on a spectrum. So who knows?
Right. Yeah.
Like I think I would fail a couple of questions.
Yeah, me too. I think I would.
I think I would pass, but I think a couple of questions I'd get wrong.
So are we replicants? Are we androids?
I think.
How many questions do you think it would take for you to pass the void comp test? I think it would take a lot. Maybe not.
I think mine would be 3. Oh, this guy is human, dumbass.
Yeah. No, you'd be like, he's a chicken head.
Chicken head.
It's like, come to think of it, he does live with a few robots. He's got one of them fucking Roombas.
Roombas.
He talks to the Roomba.
Oh man.
Dude, that's funny.
But the movie, I mean,
so
I really like the movie.
Yeah.
It's tough because like I was saying earlier, that the movie kind of cuts out a lot of the stuff that I didn't really care for.
A lot, yeah.
I mean, the Blade Runner is a cooler name than Bounty Hunter. Having the storyline of like J.F. Sebastian be like working with the Tyrell Corporation, I think is.
I think that was actually a good move.
Yeah,
on the movie's part.
I think that's a cool storyline.
I need an easy way to connect the two.
Yeah. Eliminating all of the like animal stuff, I think is cool, and I think you kind of have to in a movie. You kind of have to drive the focus, and what we were talking about earlier is that Philip K. Dick doesn't really drive the focus, and that's the beauty of books. You don't have to drive the focus in a 2-hour movie. You can kind
They're
of go off.
completely different mediums.
Yeah, so I think that the movie did a good job of doing all that.
He doesn't have nothing to do with the movie, right? The guy was just expired.
No, I think he was dead before the movie came out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The guy was just like, he loved this book, so he just made it a movie.
Yeah.
And
I heard that the director at Ridley Scott didn't even read the book. I don't know if that's true or not.
I believe it.
Yeah.
Somebody read the book, wrote a screenplay, and he was just like, "Fuck, I don't like that. That sounds cool."
Yeah.
So, did you really like the movie? I get the feeling you really enjoyed
the
it.
movie
I
was
love the
okay.
movie. I love
Not
the movie.
really. It's very slow.
That's my problem with it.
Yeah.
Is the pacing
Really?
is so terrible.
Yeah, it is.
Wow.
I
I
wanted
do
to
love
sleep 10 times watching this damn
imagine
movie.
back in the day, that was like a real cool sci-fi, like this, the planes flying up in the sky and the buildings.
visuals are beautiful.
Yeah, it's very beautiful. The visual, I love that.
That's the best part of the movie.
And
Is how it
they
looks.
use miniature sculptures, the miniature houses and stuff. I think they should do that. Like
I want that to come back.
yes, and
Yeah.
movies. I think they should do that again. I feel like
All the
it's
CGI it's dated. You can tell.
yeah, and it's very cheesy sometimes. Like
Yeah.
it's like there's no way you could do shit like that.
Like what?
Well, I mean, it's just like you could, like I was saying, like a tiger fucking does a flip or like looks all robot. Like I mean, like
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in the movie.
no.
Blade Runner. I was like,
You're talking about
what
CGI.
part?
Yeah,
CGI. I really don't care.
I prefer like if there's like a monster that's got a tentacle, I want to see a rubber thing come out, or
Yeah.
I don't want it to be CGI. I want it to be. I want
more-
someone to think about how to build it.
You have more respect
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I do like the visual of it. I love it. It's just like
yeah.
it's very slow. And that's why I was like, man, come on, get to the action.
Oh my god, dude, the scene where he's like looking at the photo, he's like, okay, enhance.
Enhance. Yeah.
Go left. Enhance. I'm like, bro, I cannot make this through the scene. I think I had to walk away for a while. I was like, but why was it so slow? Like, why? What was the point? And that's not me being like an ADD, like, you know, how we think young kids can't like focus. It's not. That's not it at all. That was not a good decision to make it slow like that.
I actually thought that was a cool, because for me, I guess my frame of reference in that is that the technology of that is super advanced. Like when he would tell it to do that zoom in, it was so crystal clear. And I was like, holy fuck, dude, that's so cool.
And it's cool.
It is cool.
When they call themselves,
that's why
the scene took like 8 minutes for no reason.
on the TV. Like it's kind of like when you do FaceTime.
Mm-hmm.
Like all the phone calls are like that.
Yeah.
I was like, that's cool.
Yeah, a lot of it.
And what I love is when he walks in the room and the lights come on. I was like, man, I want some of those for my house.
The best thing about this movie, and I did remember, I don't know if y'all remember at the beginning of the video, I was like, I think people should watch it. This is one of those movies that like, it's very important for its time because it was like groundbreaking in terms of special effects.
Mm-hmm.
Like the fact that they did, like, you had never seen anything like that before.
Yeah.
And that's kind of where historically I think it's important. I almost
it holds up today.
the visuals do for sure.
Yes, the visuals
I think
are bad. I love that.
this movie. I think the best is the atmosphere and the mood. Is that I wanna dream that. I want to be asleep and I want to be walking around in this world. I don't want to watch a movie about it.
Oh, that's what you mean. Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I want to like fall asleep and be like, whoa, this is cool sci-fi weird. There's a big pyramid in the middle of the city and like it looks really strange. Like that's a cool way. I want to dream that. I can't, dude. Sitting there and I was like, my God, this is taking so long. And it's like, but you gotta admit the pacing is not good.
It's very slow, man. It's very.
And there's not really a good reason for it either. Like that scene with the picture moving around. They didn't need to make it that long.
Yeah, you're right. I'm with you on that.
I didn't really see.
And I think Harrison Ford is a terrible actor in this too.
I don't think that there was a problem with the pacing at all. For me personally,
I like what's his name, Roy Batty. I think he was the best actor.
He should have been the main character of this story.
He was so good.
He was. Okay, real quick. I didn't get nothing out of it. You notice in the beginning of the movie they show the eye.
Yeah.
When Batty goes to visit the Asian guy, he has eyeballs.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
When they take the empathy test, they look at their eye.
Yeah, there's a lot of eye imagery in there.
You know what I mean? Like I wonder, is there like a meaning to that, or is it just like the eyes represented so many times? Like and when he crushes, what's his name? The guy
He pokes his eyes out.
He crushes his eyes out. Like eyes is represented so many. And he puts on the googly eyes when he's
fucking with them.
He's fucking with them. You know what I mean? Like
holy shit! I noticed that, but like, wow, that's got to mean something.
I noticed it, and one of the visuals that I really loved about this is that whenever the replicants, they have like this white glow in their eyes.
Yes.
I love seeing that.
And that's another thing too. They have a glow in their eyes.
That's a thing too.
And
so I think, now that I'm kind of thinking about it, I think, because you've heard the saying that the eyes are kind of the, what is it?
Window to the soul.
Window to the soul.
Yeah.
That's maybe that's because there's this dynamic of like, because what's soul? What's a soul, right? What makes a soul? You know, kind of. You could argue that maybe having empathy, being empathetic, helps generate your soulfulness. That could be a reason as to why they went that way.
I did. I tried to look for it, but there's nothing. I'm like, why? What's the point of the eye? Like they keep.
That's really interesting.
They keep showing that. Like so, I was like.
You're right. Now that I'm like, I'm thinking about the images. There's a whole part where isn't it zoomed in right on someone's eye? At one point, it's just like an eye opening. There's like a part.
Yeah, in the beginning,
right?
the eye opens.
In the very beginning,
there's so much eyes.
Yeah, and then
you're a fucking genius, bro.
I paid attention. I was like, what's with the eye? Like, why do they keep showing the eyes? And then
the eyes look orangey when it's Rachel and
Batty
and Chris. Chris has the glowing. Wow.
All of them,
dude. All of them have so. It's just. There had to be a meaning to that. I mean, I never caught it. I never know what it was, but why they keep showing eye? But maybe you're right. Maybe that is like for you being a human that's supposedly
Well,
like the intros of the show, you know.
this is just spitballing here. Are you guys familiar with 1984?
1984.
The book 1984, George Orwell?
No.
I've heard of it.
So it's like a dystopian future, which is kind of what Blade Runner is. It's sort of this like
Yeah.
you've got ads that are taking up whole buildings and stuff, and I'm like, that's also kind of now.
Yeah. Or New
But
York.
George Orwell, like one of the big things with George Orwell was Big Brother is watching. It's the overreaching, powerful government that watches you do everything to make sure you're not doing things you're not supposed to, whatever the government thinks is the wrong
Yeah.
thing. And one of the things is eyes. Like, there's always Big Brother's
That's
always
watching,
watching.
yeah.
So I think maybe there's a little bit of that there. I don't know. And then also there's the Tyrell. Is it called the Tyrell building?
Yeah, Tara
The
Building.
Tyrell Corporation, whatever.
Mhm.
It's a pyramid.
Yeah,
Our money
it's a pyramid.
is a pyramid. It has an eye on the top.
Yep.
Oh, dang.
Yeah, I mean that's.
Dude.
Oh, shout out to Lena. I fucking doubt you're watching this, but yesterday I was telling them about that we were gonna do this today, and I was like, yeah, there's like this whole thing with origami, and she made a little heart
Oh yeah.
out of a dollar.
But did you get the little things that he was making? What was the cop name? The one that protected him?
I don't know what his name is. It's his the actor's Edward James Olmos, but I don't know.
Well, did you see when he was doing all the little things? From the beginning, he was calling him a chicken. That's why he did the little chicken because he's like, oh, I'm done. I don't retire.
Oh, like he's calling him
Oh. so
And
he's-
then he puts the little
like a coward.
the little guy
Yeah.
with the little boner because he had a thing for Rachel.
Oh, I didn't realize he had a boner.
Yeah, the little stick figure thing, he had like a little.
Oh, I thought it was just to make it stand.
No, it was actually sticking out like a. Look, watch
No
it again.
way.
No, look, watch it again.
Yeah, but what's the point of him
Well,
doing that?
no, I don't know. I guess every little figurine has a meaning towards what he's thinking of. Like, oh,
Wow.
you're
Well,
being.
what about the last one? What was the, was the last one? A sheep?
The last one was a unicorn. Remember he has like.
Oh, this fucking thing again. Yeah, I know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
He had a dream.
He had a dream of a unicorn, but I think the unicorn is that he's trying to tell him that he found a rare android in Rachel.
Oh.
That she's a unicorn.
Oh, I like that.
You know what I mean? Like that's what I took it as. Like, and when he has that dream of the unicorn, he's like, oh,
He's
okay,
like, oh.
I found something like different. Like you know.
That could totally be.
Wow.
I
It kinda-
think it's. Go ahead.
It kind of spills into like the newer,
Yeah.
the newer
Movie. I haven't seen the new
Well,
Blade Runner.
I thought it was a callback to Do Android's Dream, because they don't show the animals as much in Blade Runner.
They don't.
It's an animal that's not real. The unicorn's an animal that's not real.
Shoot, that's a
I
good
like
one too.
that.
I like that.
I don't know.
Cool.
I like that, but
It's
Again,
an artificial
spitballing.
animal. It's an artificial animal.
Yeah.
Wow.
This is an artificial heart.
yeah.
You can't
It's a
argue.
mood organ. Holy shit.
This is
we
a
came-
mood organ.
Yeah, we came full circle.
Oh, dude.
Yeah, we came full circle.
And we got this.
But I know I like that. That's cool. When I saw the animals when I came here, look at this is badass.
It's cool, right?
But like that was something that I was paying attention. Like it was the chicken. He was calling him a chicken because he didn't want to take on the job.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he had a little character with the little. It's because he
I
was
think
attracted to
that-
Rachel.
That cop, I could have gone without.
He didn't even need to be in it.
He didn't need to be in it. Even
He doesn't
like,
bring anything.
Yeah, he
It
doesn't.
doesn't really. Like the whole
See, that's what I mean
origami-
about the pacing, bro.
I don't know. I thought the piece was alright.
No, I think it's slow. I think
It's terrible.
It's very slow. But I also think that when I did a little research, they were saying that the reason of that guy was because supposedly he's taking care of Rick Decker because he's an android, and he's making sure that he does his job as an android.
They kind of wrote it like kind of in the very beginning when I first saw this one the very first time. I thought, oh, he's an android. You got to watch out for him. And I think that would have been
The
a cool
cop?
storyline.
The cop?
Yeah. I thought that would have been cool. Like he's trying to kill all these other androids, and he's partnering with this one cop. And lo and behold, it's actually the cop.
Oh,
that's
like the
an
twist.
android.
Oh, I see
That would
what
have
you
been
mean.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That would have been cool.
But I think
he
the
didn't do
protagonist
that.
should have been Roy. It should have been Rutger Hauer's character.
Yes,
That would have been far more interesting to have him be the
But
protagonist.
if
You have a lot of sympathy for him.
At the
Yeah.
end, when he changes his mind about killing Deckard, that was sort of that's
Him
sort
being
of
trying
the
to be
idea of they do have empathy.
Yeah.
He could have easily killed Deckard.
Yeah,
And decided that his life was worth something, and that's something that Deckard didn't give a shit about.
Yeah.
Yes.
He didn't. He was just expiring these things because of whatever. He was also he was kind of terrible too in the movie.
But
he's not a good Blade Runner. It doesn't seem like.
No, but
he gets his ass beat so many times.
In the movie, yeah, he's horrible. In the movie, if you think they pay attention to more of the androids, they were focusing more on their lives than the actual Rick Deckard. In the
I would have liked more of, because in the book they do a really good job of like having this like mental struggle of like, do I kill them, do I not? And he's having this like internal monologues of like this, his mind is just all over the place.
Yeah.
In the movie, I think they could have done a better job of doing that. I think it would
Yeah.
be more interesting.
They
They
should
touched
have.
on it a little bit, but like to your point, like, yeah, Roy could have easily killed him and he didn't. And you can see Harrison Ford's reaction a little bit like him contemplating that, but that's toward the end of the movie. I would have liked him to have this like, do I kill Pris or not? Do I kill...
If they had gotten that actress that played Rachel to be Pris, that's
really
what they
cool.
should have done.
Yeah.
They should have not changed that for the movie. They should have had her be like, where she behaves different because she's hanging out with Roy and them and she's on the run, versus like there's also a class issue there.
Yeah.
You know, because the one grows up in the corporation and it's clean and it's whatever, and then there are these people that live on the streets.
Oh, yeah.
So that would have been cool to do, but then you see like Rachel, the same actress, doing
Right,
both
right.
parts, and then Deckard not knowing how to feel about it.
That would have been kind of. I love that. That would have been cool.
That would have been really cool.
No, you know what? It would have been cool. I mean, this would have been maybe stupid, but like if they had done that, and then Rachel's or Pris, as looking like Rachel,
Yeah.
she grabs him and says, "You want this, don't you?" Like she flips that rapey scene.
Oh.
And she does it like
Yeah.
with a knife in him or something.
Oh,
Like she's trying to
yeah.
she's trying to defend herself because he's coming to kill her. Like there could have been some.
scene.
No, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I get you, I get
So
you.
like if
That
she
was
like she
sweet.
like kind of pushes him up against the wall and
Yeah.
she says
That would have been cool.
that
No,
I feel like that would
that
have been. I feel like that would have been dope. Like they had opportunities to make this movie really cool, even though they took out a lot of the fun stuff.
Yeah.
I still think it was a great movie.
Yeah, and I think a lot of
it's
people.
not bad.
I think a lot of people would actually agree with you.
I think it's very slow, and I said, I like the visuals and stuff like that. And Roy Batty, what I loved about him is that he wants to be human. He wants to be real. Like he wants to.
You can get a lot of sympathy for him.
I do.
I felt more for him than I did for Deck.
Me too. I did too. I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, I guess he wants to be more. I think that his last in when he saved his life, he was trying to tell Deckard, look, we are humans. We feel. Look, I just saved your life, and then he's starting to realize like, oh man, like they do feel. Like they do understand what emotions and stuff are. Like I don't know. That's the scene that I love, my favorite part. And when he says when it's raining, like memories will be lost, and then it's like tears in the rain. Like it's crazy,
It's a cool line.
Like
It's a really cool line.
you die and that's it. Like you know what I mean? Like
Yeah, it's
That was a cool thing that I did like that they changed in the book, where they don't talk about like a 4-year lifespan in the book at all. At least I don't.
no, they don't. They don't. They don't live long. They say they don't.
yeah. I don't think there's a specific
Time.
time, but
Yeah.
they do say they don't last as long as.
But that's not the focus of the.
No.
That's not what's driving
No.
these
No.
androids, and that's one thing I liked about the movie.
The movie.
That he's trying to get
Yeah.
more
More
time.
life. Yeah.
Right. Because in the book, it's more about like the struggles of Deckard kind of having this emotion, but in the movie, it's more of like these androids want a life.
They want to live.
That's a really strong motivation that you can kind of feel for.
Man, but you're right about Deckard sucks as a bounty hunter.
Yeah, he's kind of shitty.
He does.
You know what's funny is like we talked about this on
He's not even badass.
our prey video. I was like, we keep choosing these movies where like someone's a hunter.
Yeah.
We did it again.
Except this time, he was the opposite of.
No, well, he's not great at it, but it's still about hunting.
Yeah, I know he's not great at it, but dude, like he needed help. He needed help from Rachel to take Leon out. He was getting choked.
He was getting his ass beat.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
He was
so
getting
like
beat up.
I don't know.
Even Bad Rat, he couldn't even beat him up. He was chasing after him, like he
Yeah.
was running away from him.
We haven't really talked about how Roy Batty, like how crazy is it that he like has this dialogue with he calls him father. I just thought that was just crazy.
Oh
dude.
yeah.
And then he kills him. I'm just like, dude,
Yeah.
that's just
Oh, dude,
wild.
he kisses him.
Yeah, he kisses
Oh,
him.
yeah, he kisses
That made
him.
me uncomfortable as
And
fuck.
kills him.
I'm not gonna lie. I don't know why. I was like,
And-
it's not.
What was?
I would have been okay if it was like on the cheek or something,
Yeah.
like or
But
maybe on the
Well,
forehead.
it's his dad. So they're trying, and
I don't kiss my dad on the mouth.
well, in
Yeah, I don't-
Argentina and stuff, like, isn't that more of a kiss in the cheek and like?
Well, I
love
mean,
you,
but that's the thing. It's
So-
on the cheek, but it's just.
I'm just saying it made me uncomfortable. The best male to male kiss scene, and everybody watching this should agree, is Godfather 2, when they're in Cuba and Michael Corleone. I knew it was you, Fredo. And he kisses him. That's the best male to male kiss. I'm like, yeah, dude.
This one.
That's,
Yeah.
that's a good kiss. Yeah. This was gross. I was like,
That
ugh.
was weird.
But it's crazy, right? Like he came to his God, like his creator.
His creator, yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then he just.
Oh, dude, it's crazy too because like think about it. It was a human who created them, so that's why they're not that perfect. Because humans are not perfect.
Yeah, anything we make just by proxy is gonna be shitty because
Yeah.
we are shitty.
Exactly. Like that's what I was
There's
like.
nothing yet.
Nothing.
So when robots, or like when AI surpasses us and they make a robot, that'll be perfect.
Yes, that is scary.
Well, but
because-
what you could argue that we created the AI, and that's shitty. That's still part of us.
Oh, true.
That's
Yeah,
still making.
yeah,
Oh,
that's true.
so you have a little flaw still in there.
well, in the universe, nothing's perfect. That's just reality. Like
Yeah.
there's nothing works out the way it's supposed to. I don't believe that's how it works. I think
As
this
much
is
as we would like
chaos.
it
As much as we want to believe that everything's gonna work out the way it's supposed to, who the fuck knows, bro?
Yeah.
Guys, I think unless y'all want to bring up any other points,
Well,
I
that-
think this is a good.
The last point is Rick Decker an android?
I was not ever under the impression that he was an android.
Neither was I.
Okay, I wasn't.
And omitting the second installment, the new one, because I think they probably go into. It's more definitive that you could say that he's not. I think in the new one, but if you just completely forget that movie's around and solely just focus on this film,
Yeah.
I don't think there's any question. That
Well,
he
because remember,
is
like,
an
there's a scene when he's in the restroom with Rachel. His eyes do glow too, in the background of it.
Yeah, but that's because that's how the lighting worked in the scene.
So like, and that's what a lot of people were like. And then Harrison Ford did say in his thing that he's not. He was in the. And then the director said, no, he is. He is an android.
No way.
Yeah, look it up. I'm not lying to you. Look it up. He says that he was supposed to be an android.
That to me sucks.
Yeah. So I mean,
The fact that Ridley Scott said that he's an android.
Yeah.
The
that
thing about
sucks.
art is we can interpret it however we want.
Oh yeah.
And if I watch that movie, there's nothing about that movie, not a single thing about that movie that makes me think,
Rick
could
Decker-
Harrison
So you think
Ford
he is?
be a
No, I don't
fucking
think
robot?
he is. I don't think he is.
He's not.
He's
Those
not.
of you that fucking think that, no.
There's a lot of
You're wrong.
I'm sure there's a lot of people that do.
I'm just kidding.
Okay, real quick.
Obviously, you can interpret it however you
Real
want.
quick, you saw the second one already.
Yeah, I don't want
I
to.
haven't.
I don't want to talk with anyone.
I haven't seen the second one.
Okay, I was about to say, did they
I
mention?
don't- I don't wanna-
I thought you said you did.
No, I haven't.
No, we're not gonna. We'll if we're gonna do the new Blade Runner, we're gonna do it on a separate video.
Okay.
But I think this is a pretty good time, unless
No, that,
we all agree that he's a human, right?
Yeah, I think he's a human.
I think that conversation online is kind of dumb. Is Record of Robot or not? Fucking
Yeah.
doesn't matter. It doesn't make the movie better one way or the other.
I just wanted to ask. I want to see your opinion.
Nah, he's human.
I think he's a human, right?
I think it's interesting to like kind of like try to make things fit. So like, but that to me is kind of a dumb thing. Like, oh, the reflection is not. It would make more sense if there was something more definitive.
And then also they also say that they think that also like the pictures they have when he's playing the piano, that they're trying to like they place memories in his head. That's why he keeps dreaming about that unicorn. Like they're adding. You know how because Rachel has memories from
Yeah, she's got
the niece,
implants, yeah.
the niece that he had. So that's why they were thinking like maybe those all the memories they implant in his head for him to think that he's still a human. And I know I think he's a human. I was just stuff that I saw online. That people were
Well,
complaining.
you guys, if you've made it this far and you've been a part of this conversation or have seen that, if your friends were like, "Do you think he could be?" Give us your opinion.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Drop it in the comments. What do you guys think?
Yes, please.
There's
drop
only
that.
like 2 people that comment. Matt, thank you.
Matt, thank you.
Matt, shout out to Matt.
Kennedy,
Um,
thanks, bro.
But anyways, yeah, that's pretty much it. I
That's
wanted to
pretty
hear your
much
opinion. I thought one of y'all gonna have like, oh yeah, he's a.
We're gonna shut the video down right here. We're gonna discuss what we're gonna review next.
Yeah.
Next, yeah.
And we're gonna get right back to it. I think Alex is gonna be back on the show at some point to do another horror movie.
Oh,
we'll
sweet.
talk about that. We talked about it before she left.
Nice.
Yeah.
So if Jeremy sits out again, or there's a little
can
bit more
join
time.
us too.
Well, because again, he's got the newborn, and we're figuring that out. So we don't want to stress you out with trying to
We
get
might
content.
go to the new room or.
We're gonna figure that out.
Okay.
We might have a new studio too, guys. Spoiler alert.
That's
But we're gonna get out of here, guys. Thank you so much for watching.
See y'all later.
Love you guys.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe. Bye.